Hello, and welcome to Mission in Focus. What is the mission of the Catholic Church in today's world? It's an important question to consider as we all try to better understand how our organisations and we as leaders contribute to the wider mission of the Church. I spoke with Jack de Groot from St Vincent de Paul's Society of New South Wales, who sees the Church as a story of human endeavour, and Lisa McDonald from St Vincent's Health Australia, who perceives the Church as seeing needs before others see the needs, as it moves towards people. I'm sure you'll enjoy their perspectives. Jack, you've held a number of positions, both working in and on boards of many Catholic ministries, crossing health, aged care, social services, community services. What do you see as the glue that holds all those ministries together?
I think the glue is a larger narrative about what human experience is about, how you put together meaning, what you do with human frailty and human suffering. So that narrative that responds to all of the aspirations and challenges of being a human is the glue. And obviously the particular distinctive part of the narrative is the entry of God into the human experience in this person and story of Jesus. So it's a pretty human and God in the human sort of glue that draws it all together, and in all of its diversity, in all of its segments, actually gives some unity to the experience of Catholic ministries.
Is it a common mission?
It's a common mission. In healthcare, there's the talk of the healing ministry of Jesus. In the ministry I'm the CEO of at St Vincent de Paul's Society in New South Wales, we talk about the hand up, that flourishing of the human person who's battling with issues of poverty and marginalisation. In Caritas, we used a language around integral human development that saw the person as the author of all that they wanted in their lives for themselves, their family and their community, and it was a holistic approach. So each of those manifestations of a message or a mission is common. They might have different emphases in how to express that mission, but it is the same mission. So, which makes it easy to translate across the different ministries. For those who work in education, for those who work in administration, those who work in healthcare, social services, universities, it's all a sense of that potential of the human, the spark of the divine within each human, and the larger purpose that the divine has for building the good society and a community of love that pursues justice.
Jack, a lot of people coming into our Catholic health and aged care and social services ministries may not know anything about the Catholic Church. How would you describe the Church?
The Catholic Church, well, it's a story of human endeavour, warts and all. I think anyone who comes to work with in a Catholic ministry will obviously be inculcated into that particular work and that focus, whether it's a specific hospital or aged care or social service. However, it is part of a larger engagement in the human community, both very locally, regionally, state-based, nationally, and in geographic regions such as the Pacific, and then it's a global expression as well. So many people say, oh, the church is about bishops and pointy hats and big old buildings and a bit of music, bells and smells. Well, that's okay, and the church does, to its own detriment, often portray itself as that, or allows itself to be portrayed that. Even as we look over my shoulder, I'm sure there's a sign of an old churchy building with stained glass windows and brick. Looks great, but the church is not about pointy hats, bells and smells and bricks and mortar. It is about how a community comes together with a common system of meaning that common meaning or belief system that is about God's presence in the world and aspiration for the world, and about how we make sense of suffering and aspirations to flourish as the human. So the church is many, many things. I think it's negligent in the story of the Australian Catholic Church at this time not to acknowledge that it is an institution that is rife with failures in its systems, that has had an appalling erosion of its credibility, and a self-deserved erosion actually. But that is not the full expression of what it means to be the church.
Jack, as we talked about before, you've held many positions in Catholic ministries. What has attracted you to that?
One of the things that's really important to me in why I am involved in Catholic ministries, apart from all the opportunities, is a fundamental philosophy that Pope Francis and Pope Benedict and others have talked about. Francis uses the language of the caress of God, the carissima, a tenderness that is required. There's something deeply personal, tactile, and desirous of the good of the other. Catholicism, the Catholic Church, is only the Catholic Church when it's about the other, when it reaches out beyond itself to the community, when it reaches out globally beyond Australian shores, when it's in solidarity, and when it says the fundamental human dignity of the most forgotten, the most despised, is where the spark of God is. That challenge matters to me, and I think it nearly matters to every person in the Australian community, and I'd hope globally, because the self-centeredness of our current and dominant narrative, our pursuit of economic growth at the sacrifice of the human desire, that Catholic thing of inherent dignity, that spark of tenderness in the divine, that's a really attractive thing for me to convey to those I work with, and to always be the moment of recognition of the other and the divine in the other.
Some people wonder what it means to have a Catholic identity and to be an organisation that is actually a ministry of the Catholic Church. So the mission leaders and others in the organisation, particularly the CEOs and the executive, understand that therefore that means we have relationships with our local bishops, that we also have the Code of Ethical Standards, that is a significant document for us, that we have particular ethical standards that guide our work, also that pastoral care is a special aspect of our work as a part of our Catholic identity. And it'll be the mission leaders who are usually the ones who are in touch with our local chaplains and ensure that sacraments are able to be delivered on campus and to the patients or aged care residents as they require it. So continuing to work on those relationships to make sure they're healthy, to make sure that we're in touch with each other, and to make sure that our care is delivered in such a way as is most respectful to our Catholic heritage.
What contribution do you think the church can make to people's lives?
The church at its very best is seeing the need before others see the need. It moves towards people. It acts with faith. It trusts that God is with us in this work. And that's often something we don't say very regularly, but we do believe it at the core of our ministry. We can see that the church has made significant contributions to people's lives over time through its fight for justice, through naming injustices, through its love of mercy and compassion. And people have come around those ideals that at its very best the church has exemplified. And when society is more just and more compassionate and more merciful, then you can see the flow-on effects into people's lives. That might be that's what people experience when they come to our hospitals. It might be in a Catholic aged care setting that they really truly feel valued for who they are, and that people have hope for the future. That for me is church at its best.
For more Mission in Focus episodes, visit the Catholic Health Australia website and follow the links on our homepage. I'm Margaret Deeren. Thanks for being part of the conversation.